Hey guys, I am Rella with Rella's Wondercrafts. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I have to actually do a sublimated image onto a t-shirt that I'm going to be putting onto glitter. Um, so I wanted to do just a quick tutorial on how I took the image and put it onto my computer and then did a trace around it in order to put that glitter HTV onto the shirt and have that image be able to line up perfectly with that glitter. This is the first time that I'm actually doing it. I know how to do it. So this is going to be a fun little experience for both you and I. I am using this silhouette cameo for all of my designs. This image is the leopard lips. They're pretty popular right now. I love them. I love leopard. Clearly, you can see it. So I'm making this nice little shirt for my sister, actually. And it's going to have the leopard lips on it, along with some words as well. So we'll be jumping over and I will show you how I do it on the Silhouette Studio. I do have the business edition of Silhouette Studio. So let's go ahead and jump over to it. Okay, so you see on here I'm using Silhouette Studio Business Edition. You can see on here that I already have the leopard lips here on the workspace. So what I did was I have the image here, which I had shown you guys that just previously. And what I did with that is I actually scanned it onto my computer. And what that allowed for me to do was to, once I scanned it on, I saved it as a JPEG image, and I just opened it up right here in Silhouette. It was the exact same size as the page itself that the image is printed on. So once this is traced, because I'm going to trace this, I'll show you how to do that. Once this is traced, I'll be able to cut this out onto glitter HTV, and then I can put the glitter onto the shirt, and then I can put the image onto the glitter. So if you are new to sublimation or HTV, I will be doing kind of an introduction to HTV and how to use it, how to make designs, something for everyone to do. So with this one, if you don't know what sublimation is, I'm assuming that you do since you are watching this video. So sublimation is a special kind of ink that is printed onto a special paper, and you have to mirror the image if it's going onto like a white polyester shirt. And once you get that image printed, you can press it onto polyester. So sublimation for an image like this, it goes onto polyester. Typically 100% polyester has the best kind of vibrant image. You can also do sublimation images on 50-50, so 50% cotton, 50% polyester shirts, preferably light colored shirts. I do know that they have a way for you to sublimate onto cotton shirts now, but it's not exactly the same. With this image, it will be infused into the fibers, like so into the shirt. You wouldn't be able to feel it like you can vinyl or the heat transfer paper. I like this method really well. It is a bit limited in terms of, you know, the light colored shirts that you have to sub on. So if this is not really making too much sense to you, I will do a specific video on sublimation to kind of explain it further and the differences between sublimation, heat transfer paper, and vinyl. So that's just kind of an overview. So anyways, so we have here the sublimation image. Like I said, I did scan it on here. I actually already did the tracing of this. So if I come over here, you'll see where I had traced this out already. I'd actually already flipped it And I did that just because I was already looking at it to make sure that everything fit up with the rest of it. So okay, so I'm going to go back over here and I'm just going to show you how I traced it. Tracing is probably one of the best features, in my opinion, that Silhouette has. So I'm just going to use my finger and show you. So right here, if you can see that right there, that is the tracing tab. And we're just going to click that tab here, select trace area, and then I'll come over here and I will just I will go ahead and just select all of this all the way down. So now when you do trace images, it can be a little difficult sometimes to get a really crisp, clear trace. This one does have a lot to it, so I did have to kind of mess around with it. Over here on the threshold is how I get my images to be traced out fairly well. And I mean, there's a lot of pieces here too, so you can see at the top. I'll show you on the image as well. So on the image, you know, we have the lips here, and then we have all of these other little pieces, and they can be really difficult to trace sometimes. You have to be patient when you're tracing some of these. So I mean, like there's just all kinds. Like when you break this down, you really look at it. I've got spray paint on my hand from spray painting some tumblers. But if you see like all these little bits of the image, they, like I said, they can be, and even up here where there's clutters, sometimes you may not get all of that. And when I do cut out the glitter, I do not expect this to be completely perfect, which is fine. You won't honestly even notice once you put it on there. So let's go back over here to this. And I'm just messing over here in the threshold, trying to get it, you know, as much covered as I can. And if you can tell, like if you just seen that, you can see going from, you know, so I brought this back down a bit, and you can see there's some spaces in here. And I just continue to mess with that threshold over here, and I'm increasing it, taking it up, and it's really starting to see. Now that's too much in my opinion, so I'll take this down a notch, and then we still have that. And down here you'll see trace, trace outer edge, trace, and detach. I'm just going to trace the outer edge, and basically what that's going to do is it will trace the outside of everything. And it's going to take just a few minutes here because there's a lot of pieces here and my Silhouette can run slow sometimes. So that's how I did my other tracing image that I had shown over here just a moment ago. So it does take a minute, I do apologize. Okay, so it finally traced it out, and I'm just going to bring it over, and you can see that it traced it out pretty well, and I think that looks pretty good. Like I said, I don't expect it to be completely perfect. That is a lot of pieces, but the thing that we want to do is we want to get this sublimated image onto a t-shirt, and the t-shirt I'm using is a black t-shirt. It does have, it is, I think it was 50% polyester, I believe. I don't have it here right on hand with me. But, and you can see it looks almost identical to, the trace looks almost identical to the one I did earlier today. So, it's looking pretty good. And then, of course, this image right here, this is going to be, here, let me show you again. See, it's pretty much perfect. So this is mirrored. When I go to put this onto the glitter, I'm going to have to flip it around like this. So, that's what we'll have to do with that. And with anything that's sublimated, most of the time, if you are going to be putting it onto a polyester shirt, it will have to be mirrored. So with that being said, you know, obviously if I were to cut this out like this, it's going to be backwards. So we are going to want to, we are going to click this, right click, and then down here, flip horizontally. So now when I go to cut out the glitter HTV, it will be the correct way, so that when I go to press this on, if you can see, I don't think you can see it, but it'll be, the corner of the lip is right here, so it'll go on perfectly. At least that's the hope. I might be a little off when I do it because I did scan and put it onto the computer that way, but it was the easiest way to do it to make sure I have a nice fit with the image. So that's it for this part of the video. I am going to go ahead and go cut out the glitter HTV. I am not going to take the time to show how to do that. If that's something that you need to learn, I can very easily do a video on that. I have no problem doing that. I will be using white glitter HTV from Caesar or Caesar, however you say it. I say Caesar. But I get all of my vinyl, it's all Caesar brand, so that's just my preference. You can use whatever kind of glitter HTV you want to use. It doesn't have to be Caesar. It's what I use personally. So I'm gonna go cut that out, and then I will jump back on here and actually do the pressing of the sublimation and the glitter. And if you have any questions, this is my very first video, just being honest with you, it's my very first video. I've been wanting to teach everyone how to do this. So if you have any questions that I didn't cover, please feel free just to comment below, and I will answer as quickly and as well as I can. And if you want to learn additional details on sublimation, HTV, anything like that, I am more than happy to make a video of it. So give me just a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and get this cut out, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I have the HTV glitter cut out. I've got it already on the shirt, lined up the way I want it to be. I think we're gonna go ahead and press the HTV onto here. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I do have my temperature set at 305 for 15 seconds. I want to actually be pressing this for the full 15 seconds. I'm only going to just tack it on because when you do the sublimation transfer, it does have to be set on 400 degrees for a much longer time. And I just want to make sure that this HTV does not melt or anything like that. So that's what we're going to do. I do also have this stuck to the shirt. I am using a heat transfer tape. So I got this from Heat Press Nation. I don't remember how much it was, but it's lasted me a really long time, and I use it quite a bit on my shirts and anything else that requires it. So I do have two cameras here, so I'm trying to go back and forth. Okay, so I think I'm ready to go ahead and press this. It was a bit more difficult to get this cut out than I thought it would be. As you can see, when I was saying in the last section of this, there is a lot of little tiny pieces. So this transfer is not going to be perfect. I didn't expect it to be, but hopefully I can get this as lined up as best as possible. And I did a little trick here. Because the pieces are so little and there's so much to this image, I went ahead and put this up against a light that I have here in my room, and I drew kind of just like, so there's a few stars here, right here, right here. So I kind of just traced those. I traced top of the lip on the corners here. And that's just as like a guide, so that when I go to press this on, I'll be able to feel where that glitter is, and also be able to line it fairly well, I think, with the glitter. So with that being said, I think we're good to go. And I also do want to note that in the last section I had flipped my trace that I had done of the lips. You do not need to do that if your image is mirrored. That should be, I'll put a little note within the video to remind you not to flip it. Didn't know that. That was my mistake, but gotta learn, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and press this. Like I said, I'm not going to press this very long, for just a moment. And I do have it set at like a medium pressure. So I'm just gonna put this down and lift it right back up. So let's make sure that this did adhere to it. Let's take these off. Okay. Let's see. So far, so good. It looks like we have a little bit here that didn't stick. It's okay. All right, let's press it down for just a few more seconds. That's okay, you gotta learn, right? You won't know until you try. Looks like some of that's not gonna stick. That's okay. So there was a little bit left on. My guess is that it's probably backwards. When I was weeding this, glitter can be a bit difficult to adhere. So that's okay though. I think this is going to turn out really well. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this. Now, because of sublimation, I do have to turn this up to 400 degrees. So let's go ahead and get this up to 400. And typically I would press this for 60 seconds, but since this is already heated up and we already have some heat on this glitter, I'm gonna go ahead and just set it for about 45 seconds. I think should be a pretty solid amount here. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this warm up, and we're gonna pause this for just a moment. Okay, so this is almost heated up to 400 degrees, so we are looking pretty good. I went ahead and cut this down before I had started the third part of the video. And it feels like it's pretty well lined up. It might be a little off, but I don't think it's going to be anything dramatic, anything substantial. I think it's going to press pretty well. Now, this would be a much easier process on something that was of, full image, not a whole bunch of spaces. I mean, as you could have seen with the leopard lips, there was a lot of little small pieces, lots of up and down. So if you use a different image, like say you use, a slice of a watermelon that's watercolor, that's going to just go right onto that glitter HTV without any problem. So this was just something that I'm doing, like I said, for my sister. Her birthday was actually today, so if you end up watching this, sis, happy birthday. But I just wanted to make her this. She had asked about it previously, so I told her I'd look into it, and because the way that the lips were, it's really difficult to make those kind of lips look good with HTV. So I thought doing it this way would just be a lot better, and it's a good learning experience and a good teaching point as well. So we are set at 400 and about 3 degrees for 45 seconds. So we're gonna go ahead and press this down. We're gonna see how this turns out. So let's go ahead and we can do that now. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna grab something just real quick. So I grabbed just an additional piece of paper, and it kind of keeps, this helps the ink from getting that Teflon. Sometimes the ink can go through the paper that it's printed on and it can get onto that Teflon. If it gets onto the Teflon, it might affect future presses. So it's always a good idea to also lay down a piece of paper right over top of that. So I do apologize for that. Okay, let's go ahead and press now. I think we're good to go. All right. So 405 degrees for 45 seconds. While this is pressing, just remember that on the paper, when you print off a sublimation transfer, is much more dull than it is once you press it. Once you press it, it's vibrant, it's beautiful. I prefer sublimation over HTV. I don't know if you guys do, but I definitely do. It looks so much better in my opinion. I think it's beautiful. But HTV is also very versatile and I'm able to do quite a bit with it. So we've got about 5 seconds left and we'll pull this up and see how this looks. Hopefully I lined it up pretty well. All right. Let's go ahead and take this off. And there is additional vinyl that I will be adding to this. This is, you can already see the outline of it right here. So let's go ahead. Once I get the other HTV added to this, I'll come back on so you guys can see the final results of the whole shirt together. I think it's gonna turn out super cute as long as this HTV, or as long as this sublimation turned out pretty well. So, and it even has the glitter underneath, so even if it's a little bit off, we'll still have that sparkly glitter. Okay, let's see. Oh yeah, look at that, guys. So I could have pressed it for just a little bit longer. It's not as vibrant as I was hoping it was gonna be, but that's okay. You can actually use this for other projects. It just may not be quite as vibrant as it should be. So I think that actually looks really, really good. I definitely could have pressed it just a little bit longer, but that's okay. We don't want to burn that glitter. I don't think we would have, but I don't want to take the chance of that happening, especially after going through all of that. So I'm going to bring this up to the camera. Can you guys see that sparkle underneath? Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh. I absolutely love that. So you can see I was a bit off right there. But overall, I mean, it kind of goes along with the rest of these drips here. And I think it looks fabulous. I really, really do. I think it turned out great. And I love that sparkle. I love glitter. You guys should see my glitter collection. It's ridiculous. Every time I buy more glitter, my husband's... I can't tell him. All right. So, yep. I think that turned out really, really well. What do you guys think? I think it turned out great. So the rest of this shirt is going to also have glitter as well as HTV. So I'm going to finish up doing that. And once that's finished, I will pop back on and show you guys how it turned out. I think it's going to be great. So I will be right back. All right, so just got that shirt finished. I'll go ahead and show it to you guys. I think it turned out pretty fabulous. So here it is. Looks like it is backwards. Sorry about that, guys. But I think it turned out fantastic. So this part right here, the white is HTV glitter. And then I did buy printed vinyl for this part right here. And then down here at the bottom, the words are also glitter. And I had done the same thing with the very bottom line here with the glitter underneath and that printed HTV down there on top of that glitter. If you want to know where I got my printed, the leopard print vinyl, I'll go ahead and put that down there in the description as well. I'll send you a link. I do buy my stuff from Vinyl Supply Mart. I have for quite a few years now, ever since I started doing this and making shirts. Yeah, I think this turned out really fantastic, honestly. This could have been done on a polyester shirt that was a light color, but I knew that I could do this. I knew I wanted to test out that glitter HTV. I had watched previous videos of the HTV glitter being used as a sublimation point for these prints. Now, for whatever reason, I'm not sure why the white glitter is like that. It does not sublimate onto other glitters. It might, but I don't think it'd be quite as bright. But I could have taken this entire image and just put it onto a polyester shirt. I mean, just one big sublimation print. But she wanted a black shirt and I wanted to try it out anyway. So what better time than to do that? So hopefully you guys like it. Hopefully this helped in some way or another, even if it was just something to watch or if I made you laugh, whatever the case might be. I hope this was helpful for you. So once again, this is my first video. Used to doing lives instead of YouTube videos, so this is a bit new for me. If you guys have any additional comments or tips and tricks for any kind of sublimated onto glitter, just put those in the comments as well. If you don't mind, just like and subscribe to my channel. That would be fantastic. You can also find my crafting group on Facebook. It is called Rella's Wonder Crafts. I make all kinds of stuff on there. Just feel free to go over there, check it out. You can also check out my husband's gaming channel as well. It's called Dragarian's Door. That will be in the link. And my children also have their own channel. It's called Wondercrafts Kids. So, yep, that is it for this video. I will be having additional videos on tumblers and shirts. And if there's anything you're interested in seeing, if you even just want to say hi, feel free just to put that in the comments for me, okay guys? Well, you all have a lovely weekend. Bye!